Well, this is not what I expected, but CJAX is making a video about Rhea Ripley, and it's about the tweet that she posted on Twitter. So this is not going to be a good rant, but hey, if you're a Rhea fan, comment down below and let me know what y'all think about this video in advance. So if he say anything disrespectful about Rhea Ripley, just know I disapprove his message, okay? But just want to say that. But let's get to the video. I can imagine what you guys say.
This is my brutality. I'm gonna take back my title that never lost. Yeah. No. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have to break down Rhea Ripley's recent comments, okay? Her little, Twitter outrage, her little Twitter rant that she went on. I think it was yesterday it was. And I want to break this down because this rant is a simple, it's a message from a bigger issue, right? It's a symptom of a bigger problem. And the fact is that what Rhea Ripley said just exposed Triple H, obviously, triple fraud, I'm the gamer, I have bad booking, fiend, the game got exposed, and we also exposed basically WWE's entire roster in the softness that plagues WWE, because let's be honest, the roster, the booking, these people are soft for the most part, right? They have no actual effort or creativity, and we're going to discuss that. They have all a bunch of big egos, they're ready to take 100% of the credit and 0% of the blame. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this Rhea Ripley tweet. I'll put it on the screen here. She basically said, women's wrestling fans say women deserve better. And in the same breath, they say she's sleeping with her boss. That's why she's where she is. She should retire. She doesn't deserve it. She's handed everything and never worked for anything. I hope she gets injured. And then she basically adds on to that and says, you guys are the real reason. You guys, you fans are the real reason it's so difficult to be taken seriously as a woman's wrestler. If you put as much effort into your own miserable lives as you put into degrading successful women, then maybe you would accomplish something yourself. Now let's take a look at this. Number one, Rhea Ripley just officially said that you guys are the real reason it's difficult to be taken seriously as a woman's wrestler. Let's go ahead and think about that for a second, okay? Because it's always the fans' fault. Every single time leading up to Mania 41, we saw it with Triple H. He told the fans multiple times, screw off, F off. If you don't want to watch it, just stop watching as a critic, watch as a fan. So now if you critique anything WWE does, you're not a real fan of a product that you've been watching for years. You get what I mean? Rhea Ripley has a bunch of bad stories, a bunch of nonsense storylines, a bunch of bad segments and mediocre matches, barely wrestles at all. We'll talk about that in a second. And she's saying that you guys, the fans, are the reason why she's not taken seriously. But the truth is, the reason why Rhea Ripley or Triple H or anyone, in WWE or in other companies too, other wrestlers lash out on Twitter like Ricochet, he goes on his Twitter rants, from time to time. Him and Javon Evans had a little battle, last week. But the reason that these wrestlers get upset over what's being said on the internet is because, number one, their ego is obviously fragile. They have a fragile ego, just like the head guy, Triple H has a fragile ego. They can't take criticism. And number two, they know that an inkling of what the fans are saying is 100% accurate. So because there's a little bit of truth in what the fans are saying and their flaws are being called out and everyone's constantly glazing them and telling them how great they are, so when they search their name up on Google or search their name up on Twitter and they see something bad, they find something to be upset about, or at least that's what it seems like. You know what I mean? Why are wrestlers on X crying so much? You get what I'm saying? Have you ever seen John Cena or Roman Reigns or CM Punk or Randy Orton arguing with fans on Twitter? No, because the fact is that when you're really an all-time great level talent, or you're a great, a top of the line level guy or girl, you're not going to be arguing with fans on Twitter. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? It's embarrassing. These wrestlers, this roster and Triple H are all entitled. Like I mentioned, they want 100% of the credit and 0% of the blame. So Triple H and wrestlers have basically become immediately incredibly soft. They take credit when things go well. Triple H says the internet isn't real, but whenever a social media segment they put out on Twitter, on Instagram, or YouTube does absolutely amazing, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't classify YouTube as social media, but you know what I mean. Instagram, TikTok, X, all that stuff. Whenever they put out a segment or some type of moment from a show and it gets a ton of views, they're like, oh, this got hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds of millions of views, man. Wow. No way, tens of millions of views. Logan Paul punched a Uso, it's got 20 million views. And they brag about the social media stuff for multiple different things. things. However, when business is booming, right, you're selling out tickets like last year in the Build to Mania 40, and even a little bit after that, they were selling out tickets. They're like, business is booming. It's the best it's ever been. Welcome to the new era of garbage. And then when the big posts or articles come out glazing them and their success and how great this wrestler is and how great Triple H is, everyone's excited. You know, it's great. But when the views are going down, like they are now, Raw started off with 6 million views globally on Netflix, and now they're struggling to get 2.8 to 2.9 million consistently globally. You know, remember all that bragging about, oh, well, we can reach hundreds of millions now. We can reach the whole world. And you're not even reaching 3 million people. It's embarrassing. And when fans complain about the Mania build like they did, they complained about Mania 41 itself and critiqued Triple H's booking and bashed him, or performers like Rhea Ripley get criticized, all these people start to get defensive. They start crying on social media. Triple H is telling the fans to screw off. Rhea Ripley's telling the fans that your lives are so miserable. She doesn't even know these people, and these people don't really know the real Rhea Ripley, I'm sure. So why in the world are she telling them that they have miserable lives? It just shows you the ego on these wrestlers. Triple H, you know what I'm saying, Seth Rollins and Undertaker have all mentioned this in recent podcasts over the last few months. They basically mentioned that talent is not as hungry, you know what I mean, anymore as they used to be, for example, especially with less live events and less matches. Rollins and Taker were talking about the fact that, you know, there's situations now where you can't really practice your heel tendencies in ring, how to work a crowd, how to develop your moveset, how to sell well, how to sell injuries, how to get your story and your character across, because there's less live events, the stars are wrestling less and less and less, and there's less matches. So because of that, the stars are not as hungry because they're still getting paid the same amount as if they were wrestling a lot. So it makes them kind of, you know, not hungry to be great. And Undertaker was on his own podcast talking about how they're making TikToks backstage and they're soft. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And I'm going to give you this stat. Rhea Ripley has 5 Raw matches and 7 PLEs since January 1st of 2024, and it's May 2025. That's 12 matches in around 500 days, but she's treated like a top star in women's wrestling and says it's hard to be taken seriously. You fans are the reason that it's hard to be taken seriously. You're not doing anything. You have 12 matches in 500 days, and you've had no good promos in that time span. But we're supposed to be taking you seriously. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no offense, but the fact is, more people in the mainstream and even some wrestling fans know Rhea Ripley and recognize her more for her physical appearance and their attraction to her and her aesthetic than her actual wrestling quality and promos. When you have more butt cheek pics than matches and good promos, why in the world would we be taking this seriously?
I understand, but Liv Morgan do the same shit, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? If you have more tweets than matches, why would I be taking this seriously? You get what I'm saying? It's unbelievable, man. It makes absolutely no sense. Instead of complaining and talking about what the fans are doing and how the fans are in the fault, man, you guys are the reason why we can't be taken seriously. It's your fault. You did this. Your problem. You. No, point the finger at yourself. Talk to Triple H, the guy who's booking and making your storylines. The fans are not paying your bills. They're not making your stories. WWE and the corporations and Triple H, TKO, they're cutting your checks. They're giving you your stories. They're giving you your matches and your promos. And it's your job to take that and turn it into gold. Turn garbage into gold. That is what your job is as a top star. And considering talking about top stars, if Jey Uso is the top star on Raw, I guess because he's the world champion, he's the most over face on Raw right now, and then Rhea Ripley is the top woman in the women's division just because of, you know, her popularity and obviously because of how over she is, I get that, and you still are losing viewership rapidly with Raw on Netflix, then clearly you need to look in the mirror. If you two are the head people on the show and the views are drastically going down as you guys are showing up every week, you and Jey Uso and other jobbers, for example, then clearly you aren't doing good enough. Whenever a show is doing great, everybody's getting praised. So when a show's doing bad, the same top stars getting praised should be the ones that are getting bashed. It's as simple as that. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And if the booker Triple H can't do his job, then get him out too. I don't care. You know what I mean? Why are you making these people are making millions of dollars for barely having to work 12 matches in 500 days? Are you out of your mind? And you're getting paid millions for that, and you have the audacity to say the fans are the reason that it's hard to be taken seriously, and they need to put effort into their miserable lives. What are you talking about? Why don't you put effort? You know what I'm saying? Where's your effort at? You know what I mean? 12 matches in 500 days. Where's Triple H's effort at? The creativity is lacking. I booked a better Backlash card in 30 seconds than Triple H could in 3 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the card that we got for Backlash with Cena and Orton, and you know what I'm saying? What were the other matches? All the slop, Lyra versus Becky, and the Fatu, fatal 4-way thing for the U.S. title, Pat McAfee versus Gunther, which was an embarrassment, and Penta versus Dominic, which is another Raw match. And my card consisted of either Dominic versus Sheamus, or Dominic not even being there, doing Rollins versus Jey Uso, the same match he had on Raw for the world title. Do that at Backlash and have Punk return. There's Gravitas. Have Cena and Orton still. Have Gunther rematch Jey Uso, or have Jey Uso just fight Logan Paul on the actual PLE, you know what I mean? Dominic Mysterio fight Sheamus, like I said, or fight someone else, fight Braun Breaker in a rematch maybe, you know what I mean? Or you could have a situation where you had Io versus Stephanie Vaquer, or Io versus Rhea rematch, for the world title. Or you could have had Io Sky versus, Roxanne Perez for the one-on-one for the world title. And that would have been a much better card, and then you could have done Fatu versus Drew McIntyre for the U.S. Championship. That alone is a better card and would have been a better show than what we got, which was a bunch of Raw matches and a solid main event. That's all that Backlash was. You get what I'm saying? But I'm supposed to sit here and just be okay with the garbage content we're getting. The fans are always going to have the fan perspective because we're watching the product to be entertained. It's World Wrestling Entertainment. So if you are not entertaining us, you're not developing in the ring, you're not developing on the mic, you're not entertaining anybody, why in the world would we actually sit here and praise you for it? Any fan in their right mind should not be praising Triple H or Rhea Ripley at all because they haven't done anything, at least in recent memory. And this is becoming a bigger problem because the talent is getting so full of themselves when they have not contributed anything.
Well, Selena made a video about the tweet that Rhea Ripley posted on Twitter, and this is her feedback based off all the haters that are speaking on Rhea Ripley.
Hey guys, I want to make this video and I want to tell y'all what's going on. And I want to tell you why I'm making this video. I don't think Rhea Ripley is sleeping with her boss at all. She's an aspiring woman. She's kind. She's sweet. She get her business done. And she's a sweet woman. Like, I never heard somebody drag her name through the mud like that. And yeah, she clapped back. And I love that for her. So y'all need to stop doing some salt, pepper all over her name like that. Because she's a respectful woman in this division right now. She's the top woman. She's all the way up on top. So if y'all don't know anything, stop putting her name out there like that. Like, she gives respect to the kids, the women's, all that, the parents, the sons, the moms, the dads that bring the kids to the events, and she loved them all deeply. So if y'all don't know nothing, she would never ever will sleep with her boss. She would never ever sleep with her boss ever in her life. So if y'all don't know anything, don't say nothing if y'all don't know the facts. So until you know the facts and you get receipts and proof, don't say nothing. So that's why she clapped back. Y'all don't talk about nobody else in the division, but y'all talk about Rhea Ripley. Don't do that. Talk about somebody else or don't say nothing at all. So, thank you.
Yeah, that was Selena in the video. Listen, regardless how y'all feel about Rhea Ripley, I just don't understand how can you guys go so hard for a woman like her, but you won't do the same thing for Liv Morgan. Again, you might think Rhea Ripley is privileged, but it doesn't matter. She's over with the crowd. And the fact that you guys are going so hard to put Rhea down, but you won't do that to Liv Morgan is ridiculous. And I don't know why CJAX even had to make this video, because I would appreciate it if a woman will speak on this, not CJAX, okay? Not because not because you're a guy, but because you sound like every guy that pretty much be hating on Rhea because you want to say, oh, you don't wrestle as much, you don't get booked properly, when you know the answer. You just said it. It was Triple H that's causing this. So if that being said, then you are mentioning him, but you still saying Rhea can't wrestle, she can't cut great promos, when you know that it's not her fault, it's Triple H. So with that being said, why don't you, and I think that's what he's doing. He is pointing at Triple H to say, hey, but hey, you look what you're doing to Rhea, when you could have just, when I would rather for him to just say, like, hey, why don't you like, hey, Triple H, you need to do better for Rhea. You need to do better. You need to do right by Rhea. That's what I meant to say. You need to do right by Rhea. You know what I'm saying? And I wish he would just, instead of just saying she can't cut great promos and all that, why don't you just tell, Rhea, why don't you just tell Triple H to do right by Rhea? Instead of just saying she can't wrestle and she can't cut great promos. There are moments where she can get it. It's just the mic skill she needs more work on, in my opinion. But again, I hope CJAX understands that it's not Rhea's fault. It's Triple H, and he is mentioning that, but he's still saying that Liv Morgan is better than Rhea Ripley. He did mention it in this video, so let's just continue.
Anything. Like, for example, Rhea Ripley gets her millions of dollars or whatever it is, and she still realistically, over the last few years, can you really say that she has really developed as a storyteller, as a character worker, and as a mic worker? Can you really say that? No, you can't. She hasn't developed. How do you have all this spotlight, all this, this narrative that you're the top woman, and you haven't developed as a storyteller, as a mic worker at all? And Rhea Ripley probably knows she's not a great mic worker. We already know this. And in the in-ring, she hasn't had any really great or elite level matches since Mania 39 2 years ago versus Charlotte Flair, and since then she had one elite match and it was a triple threat with her, Bianca, and Io. And Bianca and Io are obviously way better in-ring or at least better in-ring performers than Rhea Ripley is. Io's way better and Bianca's just pretty much better than her in the ring, and it's not even close. So why in the world are we sitting here and sucking up? Why should we have to suck up and just glaze everything? You get what I mean? Like, as an overall performer with storytelling, charisma, entrance, promo ability, in-ring performing, consistency, longevity, etc., and peak, obviously, of their potential, the actual overall performer, Rhea Ripley, that's based off of all those things, is just solid or decent at best. There's nothing about her that puts her in the level of being, very good or great or even amazing. It's not like that. She's not a next level, elite level talent like Charlotte, who's one of the best in-ring performers in women's wrestling history. Mercedes Moné is the same thing. Toni Storm, amazing character worker, amazing storyteller, solid on the mic, and has pretty good matches. You get what I mean? Becky Lynch, obviously one of the all-time greats. Bianca Belair is better than Rhea Ripley in the ring and on the mic. Io Sky, even her promos being short, and actually, getting the point across quickly with her line delivery and her little, thing where she points at herself is starting to get over, and obviously she's the best in-ring performer in the entire company. So Io Sky is better than Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan is better than Rhea Ripley, or at least equal to her, if not better, in my opinion. Naomi, worse than Rhea Ripley in the ring, I'll give you that, but at every other aspect, promos, storytelling, gimmick, character work, Naomi is way better than Rhea Ripley. And Tiffany Stratton, even though I don't know if she's better than Rhea Ripley, she does more than Rhea Ripley in terms of wrestling and being a somewhat fighting champion and being someone who's showing up consistently and actually contributing to storylines. You get what I mean? And Tiffany naturally got over faster than Rhea Ripley did. So it's as simple as that. It's not opinion, it's truth. We're seeing it in front of our face. It makes absolutely no sense. There is an issue here. The talent's getting so full of themselves, and they haven't done anything, man. How in the world can Rhea Ripley be, stagnant on the mic quality-wise and stagnant in-ring for this long? There's no clear drive to improve, at least from what we're seeing, because we're not seeing improvement. And these fans now are believing in the lie as well. They're boosting the lie that these wrestlers are so great because they chant, "You deserve it! You deserve it! This is awesome!" And then the match is Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. Grow up, man. This is not awesome. This is garbage. And they're chanting for people based on gimmicks and phrases rather than actual quality. Jey Uso gets over on a yeet chant, gets in the ring, and puts on a mediocre match time after time after time. Some of the matches are honestly pretty bad. But guess what? He's your world champion, and he's the one yeeting, and he's the one getting all the big crowd pops. Cody Rhodes, whoa, comes out, cuts a bad promo. Next week, whoa, cuts a bad promo. Next week, I respect you here. I love you here. I need you here. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good promo. And when you have 10 title defenses as a full-time performer in an entire year of having the belt, why should I be treating this guy like he's a top dude? He's not. You have to be real with yourself and actually judge it off of what's actually happening. Rhea Ripley is the same thing. We already went through that. Braun Breaker has a lot of talent. He's over with the barking gimmick and all that stuff, but he's a mindless character now. He's just a bot dummy going out there as a henchman to hurt people. That's all he's doing. You took someone with that talent, and that's what you turned him into because the Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman storyline is garbage. You get what I mean? Like I mentioned before, Cody Rhodes, for example, right? This is something I need to mention as well. The fans, when they're usually, right, I say like 70 to 80% of the time, when fans are critiquing the product or critiquing the actual, the stuff that's happening from the segment.
All right, let me show you another video from Tag Team Tweening, where she speak about the tweet that Rhea Ripley posted last night.
Girl Rhea just called out everyone on X who is a fake supporter of the women's division. Say it louder for the people in the back, sis, or should I say the men in the back. We all know the women's division has come so far since it originated, but it still has a ways to go. If you haven't seen this thread, here it is from X. She essentially says, women deserve better, same breath. She's sleeping with her boss. That's why she's where she is. She should retire. She doesn't deserve it. She's handed everything and never worked for anything. I hope she gets injured. You guys are the real reason it's so difficult to be taken seriously as a women's wrestler. If you put as much effort into your own miserable lives as you put into degrading successful women, then maybe you would accomplish something yourself. Claps for sis. I mean, like, she's speaking straight facts. I was actually wondering this the other night. Though we do get more female matches than we used to get during the Divas era, we still don't get nearly as much airtime as the men do. And dare I say, we have even more talent than some of the men on the roster? Let me know your thoughts on this. Hopefully there's no men in the comments that come at her or me for even bringing this here, because she's just speaking straight facts.
Oh no, baby girl, we agree. But, you know, again, there will be some men in my comment box. But, however, like I said, I disagree with CJAX when he says that Liv Morgan is better than Rhea. That's cap. Okay, she might be better when it comes to mic skill and, you know, charisma and you know, finisher move. But other than that, I mean, when it comes to ring skill and popularity and aura and whatnot, come on, man, don't give me that crap. You know damn well Rhea is way over than Liv Morgan. But however, if I do have an idea for Liv Morgan. If you do more movies after this movie you're doing, then maybe you will be over than Rhea, because she's only gonna be popular on social media, versus with you could be popular all across the globe, Hollywood wise and industry wise, just because they call you the it girl. Because when you're in Hollywood and you're doing a movie, every movie you're doing is a blockbuster. Just like kind of like with The Rock, kind of like with John Cena. And I think this will be good for Liv Morgan, because if she do more movies, no one can say she doesn't have the popularity. You know what I mean? She has, like, her popularity right now is kind of like, you know, her popularity right now is based off of her hardcore fans and what she has done back in the day to develop her character and her status and whatnot. And some of it is because of the Liv and Dawn relationship. But however, most of it is because everyone grew up watching Liv Morgan like we did. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I don't understand why people are going so hard on Rhea, but they won't go hard on Liv Morgan. It's just like, listen, I understand Liv Morgan is short and blonde, and, you know, you guys might think she's attractive and all that. But in my opinion, Megan Bain is more attractive than her. Anna Jay is more attractive than her. Toni Storm is thicker than her. Maya May is attractive than her. Shoot. Sky Blue is, you know, attractive than her. Yeah. And who else? And I already know you guys are going to disagree with me in the comment box, but no, I mean, every woman I just mentioned, I mean, I hate to say it, but Penelope Ford, my Penelope is attractive than her, basically because of the boobs, you know, like the titties. She do got nice tits, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just saying, she does. Penelope got them titties. Yeah, but no, I mean, Thunder Rosa, I don't know about Thunder. I mean, Thunder is kind of attractive. I mean, well, I'll say she's sexier than her. I'll just say it like that. Because I don't want to get things, because I know my taste, bro. You know, I know who's pretty, I know who's beautiful, I know who's gorgeous, I know who's sexy, I know who's attractive. Okay, and if we gotta be fair, and if we're just talking about NXT, I think Jasmine, you know, because I love me some Jasmine. I think Jasmine is sexier than Liv Morgan. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think, let me see. I think Steffi Valkyria, I feel like she's attracted to Liv Morgan. So Ruka, you already know Soruka is attractive than Liv Morgan, and she might be the next Liv Morgan, but 10 times better. Zyra, in my opinion, is attractive than Liv Morgan. She's an emo, and she thick as hell. Fallon Henry, Jackie Jane, Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is more gorgeous than Liv Morgan. Shoot, even her best friend CJ Perry, she's sexier than Liv Morgan. Come on, man. And I mean, you telling me that all the women I just mentioned, you telling me they're not sexier than Liv Morgan, they're not attractive than Liv Morgan, they're not gorgeous than Liv Morgan? Bullshit. Okay? You cannot sit here and tell me that the women I just mentioned are not hotter than Liv Morgan. That's cap. Okay? Liv Morgan is just another chick. All right? And you telling me that she's attractive than all the women I just mentioned? You gotta be kidding me. You telling me that Izzy Dame is not hotter than Liv Morgan? Well, even though I don't care too much about her, I mean, shoot, I guess we could argue with that. But you telling me that Selena Vega is not hotter than Liv Morgan? Now, if you say no, you're racist. Okay? if you say that Selena Vega is not hotter than Liv Morgan or attractive than Liv Morgan, you're racist. I'm sorry to say it. In my opinion, you're racist. Okay? If you're saying that Selena Vega is not attractive than Liv Morgan, you're racist, in my opinion. Okay? You are. Okay? You are. All right? You are. I mean, come on. I mean, Gigi Dolan is not hotter than Liv Morgan? Oh, come on. You don't see that ass? I can't post it on here, but I'm just saying. You telling me that Gigi Dolan is not hotter than Liv Morgan? Give me a freaking break, will you? She's thick. She's slim thick. You telling me that she ain't thicker than Liv Morgan? Give me a break. That punk, you don't see that deep freezer booty back there, bro? Give me a freaking break, will you? Halloween is not even that long, and you telling me that pumpkin slice in the back, you telling me that is not hotter than Liv Morgan? Give me a freaking break, will you? Stop it. I mean, Tatum Paxley, she's thicker than Liv Morgan. Shotzi, she's hotter than Liv Morgan. Come on. I can name so many women. Alexa Bliss, she's hotter than Liv Morgan. Well, yeah. Alexa Bliss, she's hotter than Liv Morgan, even though some people say they're the same. We can argue with that. They kind of are. But however, if you're telling me that all these women I just named are not hotter or attractive than Liv Morgan, you're bullshitting. Okay? I mean, in my opinion, I think Chris Stanlander, she's thicker than Liv Morgan. Okay? Shoot. I ain't like one time. I mean, Julia Hart, she's attractive than Liv Morgan. You don't see them eyes? Look at those eyes. Look at those baby blue eyes. Look at those ocean eyes. You telling me you don't want to swim in them motherfuckers? Come on now. Give me a freaking break, will you? All right, give me a break. Julia Hart is the type of chick you want to hit missionary and look into her eyes. Because you got to look into her eyes. Usually if people do missionary, they got to look into a woman's eyes. And she's the one. That's why I said, all these women. Come on, man. I can name so many. Shoot, comment down below. Give me a list of women that you would say that are attracted to Liv Morgan. So let's stop the cap, all right? Let's stop the cap. Liv Morgan is not 10 times better than all the women I just mentioned. Even Zariah, she's attractive than Liv Morgan, and that's a fact. Before there was a Liv Morgan, there was Paige, AJ Lee. The Bella twins. Come on, man. Give me a break. Carmella. Come on. You guys act like you don't know. Lacey Evans. God damn. Milfy. Come on. Like I just said, all the women I just mentioned, you telling me they're not hotter than Liv Morgan. Give me a freaking break, will you? Give me a break. I can name so many. Trish Stratus. Lita. The 2000 Lita. I'm just saying, like, Stacey, the 2003 Stacy Keibler. The 2004 Tori Wilson. You telling me the 2003 Sable? Come on. Christy Hammy? Jeez. Eve? Come on. shoot, how many I gotta think of? Kelly, you give me a freaking break. Kelly, if you say Kelly is not hotter than Liv Morgan, you stupid. Okay? You cannot tell me Kelly is not hotter than Liv Morgan. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Okay? Candace, the 2007 Candace Michelle, absolutely hotter than Liv Morgan. That's a fact. The Mickey James, the 2006 Mickey James, shoot, sexier than Liv Morgan, just because of them skirts. Skirt. I'm telling you the truth. Every woman I just mentioned are attracted to Liv Morgan. You can't say they're not. All right, you just can't. You can't. All right. Every woman in NXT is attracted to Liv Morgan. Black, white, brown, don't matter. They're all attractive. Okay? You cannot say that they're not. All right? You can't say one. You can't, all the women I just mentioned, you can't find one chick that is not attractive than Liv Morgan. When every chick I just mentioned is attractive and gorgeous and sexier than Liv Morgan. That's a fact. So, again, stop playing with me, bro. You already know. But back to the video. I do think the tweet, I think CJAX is taking this tweet out of proportion because I don't think that's what Shawty was talking about. I think what Shawty is talking about is that, the people that are online are literally dissing the women. Now, you could say the bookings is the problem, but still, there's no reason to get on everybody's DM to diss when none of these people have dissed Liv Morgan. All these women that be going online taking all this heat. I'm just wondering when are they going to do the same thing to Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan's taking dubs right now. Nobody is hating on her because of these Liv and Dom fans. So it's just like you talking about Rhea got goons, but Liv Morgan got goons too. You can't say nothing negative on Twitter. Every time you go on Twitter and you mention Liv Morgan's name, you get slandered. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, there's nothing, even if you have facts in your hand, even if you have facts and you type it in, even if you press the submit button, you know how many people don't go comment down below and defend her and say, oh, if you don't like it, cry about it. Cry about it, cry about it, cry about it, cry about it, cry about it. Okay, well, guess what? Liv Morgan cries every time she talk about how much she accomplished with her fans. And she's going to start crying when hopefully this doesn't happen, but she's going to start crying when Dom cheats on her for Roxanne Paredes. And if I get her last name wrong, I apologize. But I'm just saying, if Roxanne take your man, metaphorically, then you already know what it is. You're going to start crying. You're going to be humiliated. Everybody online is going to diss you. And it's all because you didn't see the signs. When the simple thing you could have done was to break up with him. But you didn't do it. So now you look like a fool because you realize that you just got dogged just like Rhea. Now look at you. Look at you now. So with that being said, let's get back to the video and we'll talk afterwards.
Perspective in the matches and the wrestler's performance, they're critiquing the entertainment part of it. No one is actually hating on Rhea Ripley, the human being. Like, for example, when I'm talking about how bad Cody's championship reign is and the libations and libations and libations, you get what I'm saying? Wheatley, so good, I drink it neatly. When I'm talking about Cody Rhodes and making fun of his title reign and how garbage it was, right, and how bad he was on the mic for a lot of segments, actually, you do understand that it is critiquing the entertainment that I am getting on the TV screen. I have no personal vendetta against Triple H or Cody Rhodes or Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan or any of these people. You think if I see Cody Rhodes in a grocery store, I'm going to start throwing stuff at him and be like, I hate you, Cody Rhodes. I can't stand you, man. I don't want your libations, dude. I don't want your Wheatley, dude. No. It's not like that. If I saw Cody Rhodes, I have respect for Cody Rhodes and all these wrestlers. They put their bodies on the line to entertain us and to put on, sometimes good shows. And I respect all of these wrestlers no matter what. But the point is we're critiquing the product and the entertainment. No one is taking a personal attack at your character. At least I'm not. And, most fans are probably not doing it. They don't have ill will behind it. And that's just a simple fact. But the wrestlers don't understand this. Anytime you say that their segment was bad or the booking for them is bad, they would rather take that as an issue towards them than take it as an issue towards the person who's booking them. If someone says you're creative or your segments or your matches are booked poorly, it's the guy's Triple H's fault, not yours. So go talk to Triple Fraud instead of talking to the fans. You get what I mean? But the point is, like I was mentioning, Cody had 10 title defenses and they were all predictable with bad storytelling. And he had the belt for over a year. Gunther had an 8-month title reign with 5 or 6 title defenses, and he signs a brand new fat contract, gets a tour bus now. He gets rewarded for mediocrity. And this mindset of rewarding people for mediocrity basically lets them get by with being mediocre. So they believe they're doing great when they're really not. Seth Rollins complains for, the whole time Roman was champion, he was complaining. He's like, I should be that top guy. I should have that belt. And then he got the world title. And he's like, man, it kind of feels like a consolation prize because Roman's part-time and he's never here and he still has the top belt and he's the top guy and everyone loves him. I'm like, dude, Roman Reigns is better than you, bro. Rollins is not built for this. They just gave you the head storyline on Raw and in all of WWE with this Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman gimmick. Number one, it makes no sense for Heyman to be on Rollins' side. And number two, the storyline so far has been absolutely boring. Number three, there's no chemistry or extra entertainment or charisma factor with anyone inside of this faction working together because they just don't have it. Like, Roman, Paul, and the Usos, there's just that natural chemistry. Obviously, they're family, right? But even people who weren't family, Roman and Sami Zayn had incredible chemistry and put on amazing segments and amazing stories for months. They were able to cultivate that and it immediately became great. Why is it that Braun Breaker, Rollins, and Heyman can come together and it's not immediately great? The reason why is because Seth Rollins is not as great as everyone says he is. Rollins is one of my favorite wrestlers. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorites, and I mean that. Rollins is amazing. He is a workhorse and he has done great things for this company. He sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed his body. I understand that. But Seth Rollins is not Roman Reigns. He's not as great as Roman Reigns. And that is why if Rollins was so good, he would not be the guy that when they gave the number one title to, like they did in 2019, they gave him the belt and he was the, we're going around with Becky Lynch, and they were doing that storyline, and it didn't work. The reason it didn't work is because Seth Rollins is not that guy. Anytime they give him a title to be a top guy, it becomes boring or stale within a month or two of the reign. Just like the world title reign in 2023. It was cool to see him with a world title belt the first month or two. After that faded off.
Okay, I just want to stop the video real quick to let y'all know that Raquel got some new merch for the summer, dog. And it's black and gold. It's going down for real. Now, the price is not right, but hey, the shipping is free with the code on the bottom. So you already know if you got an extra 40, go ahead and cop this merch. Because this merch is on fire. And this girl is on fire. Raquel is off the scale with this merch, dog. And also the link is going to be on the bio, so you already know. Let's get back to the video. Raquelio!
Everyone was complaining about how mid the reign was and how underwhelming it was and how disappointing it was and it wasn't entertaining anymore. That is what it was. So Seth Rollins is not that guy. If he was that guy, he wouldn't be doing all these Monday Night Messiah gimmicks and the architect, the visionary. He was, before the whole whoa chant, Seth Rollins' career was struggling. You have to understand that. This is just a fact of what it was. His career was struggling. Nobody really cared about any storyline he was involved in. Let's be real with ourselves. And because of that, he got the whoa thing and he rose back up on the card again and all that stuff, but he ain't Roman Reigns. If he was, he'd be the one with the 4 to 5 year championship reign, carrying the company, being the head marketer, the head marketing piece for all these shows and all these big Mania matches and all this stuff. That would have been Seth Rollins' role, but he didn't get it because he ain't built for this moment. I hate to say it, but it's facts. I love Seth Rollins, but that's just the honest truth, and I gotta tell you guys like it is. And Rhea Ripley obviously doesn't do anything. Her first world title reign, do you remember anything memorable that happened in that, 350-day long championship reign? Does anyone remember anything that happened in that reign? Absolutely not. Does anyone remember what happened in her second reign besides the fact that she lost it to Io in a Raw match? Thank you. It's as simple as that. The fans are just most of the fans, I'd say, are calling out the criticisms and the actual facts of why the product is bad and why certain wrestlers are not performing to the way that they should. And the blame realistically should be thrown at Triple Fraud, in my personal opinion. And so because these wrestlers want all the credit and adoration when things go well and all this stuff, and they want to be treated like superstars, when they're not doing superstar stuff, that's what you get. You're not Roman Reigns. You're not John Cena. You're not The Rock. You're not CM Punk. You're not drawing a dime. You're not drawing any extra viewers to the product. You're not selling out arenas when you show up. You're not marquee main eventing shows and having amazing matches. You're not doing that. So why in the world would anybody actually believe that you are on this level? You understand? That is why you are not taken seriously. You are not taken seriously because of the merits of the quality of what you're actually putting out on the TV screen and what your booker is perpetrating to us every single week and what he's saying off camera in his little interviews and his podcasts. And it's as simple as that. And arguing with the fans, this is the last point I want to say. Arguing with the fans is utterly embarrassing, and honestly, it just kind of shows you that you're weak. Now, obviously, I don't have millions of eyeballs on me, every week, but anybody who's done social media, you know what I mean? they know that over time you're going to get hate DMs. You're going to get hate comments. You'll even get hate emails. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's got some hate emails. You know what I mean? But the thing is it's about how you respond. If someone goes out of their way to harshly talk about you and they don't know you at all and they name call you and all this stuff, it should not matter for multiple reasons. Number one, it shouldn't matter because they don't know the real you. Or I guess maybe they do if you're responding to them and you're adding fuel to their fire. You get what I'm saying? Or number two, you are the one being talked about. You get what I mean? So you are the one who carries the value in the situation. The fan, Libation Station 87 or Johnny Boy 123 and wherever in Mississippi, commenting on Twitter at your local McDonald's or local wherever the heck, that person should have no merit on how you feel about your personal performance unless what they're saying is really true and you just don't want to admit it about yourself. And so that's a simple fact. And then obviously, if you're getting millions of dollars a year for doing nothing, why are you worried about Libation Station 78 on Twitter and what he has to say about your performance? You get what I mean? You have to be more strong-minded and you have to focus on being the best performer you can be and not arguing with Twitter comments. It says more about you commenting back to the Twitter person than it does about the actual commenter. And that's just the facts. If you can send more tweets than you have matches, or if you've had more tweets than you've had good promos, then I don't want to hear anything about you complaining about fan criticisms or about how the fans are the reason that you aren't taken seriously. It's as simple as that. With that being said, that is why what Rhea Ripley said is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, and she kind of is playing the victim, and it's as simple as that. With that being said, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a phenomenal day, and continue to speak your truth whether people like it or not. Whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, shut your mouths and enjoy the ride that CJAX'S is taking you on. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out, and one love.
All right, let's look at another video. This is from Murphy Wrestling 89. Murph Wrestling 89. He addressed the issue of this tweet. So let's hear his input.
If you're one of the people that doesn't understand why she posted this, you're one of the people she's talking about. There are popular streamers on here that freak out when This Is My Brutality hits because they believe that Rhea Ripley is Triple H's favorite toy and he has a vendetta against Liv Morgan. There are people that really believe that she slept her way to the top. God forbid she's just a generational talent and she's that much better than everyone else. You don't shelve somebody like that, especially when the live crowds are reacting the way they do. She is the most popular superstar in the company right now. A company that has CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes, and nobody gets the pop she gets. The fact that she had to post this is just heartbreaking. There isn't a single valid reason to dislike this woman. There just isn't.
But they won't dislike Liv Morgan. It's just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I disagree with CJAX when he said Liv Morgan's better than Rhea Ripley. I mean, look, mic skill, finisher, charisma, yeah, true. But as far as ring, popularity, aura, not true. But it could become true if you go to Hollywood and do more movies. Okay, you're doing one, but let's do some more. Okay? Then hopefully you could become the next The Rock or the next John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Far as fame-wise. You know what I'm saying? Many people don't want to be a celebrity, but I do think that Liv Morgan does want to be part of the industry just because she already has the mindset for it and she also has the tough skin for it. And honestly, it just kind of shows you the difference between Liv and Rhea. Like, Liv Morgan can handle criticism. Rhea Ripley can't, And I guess it's just because Liv Morgan is, she knows what to do with the internet versus with Rhea Ripley, she's not really an internet person like that. Based off what I've seen. You know what I mean? Usually when I see her online, she just posts workout videos, pictures of her dogs, pictures of her and her husband, picture of her hanging with the fellas. She don't really hang with women like that. So, she don't hang with women unless she at work. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think for me it's just like the hate that Rhea is getting is just amazing how they're hating on her most. but they won't hate on Liv Morgan. You know, like every time I go online, I don't see nobody hating on Liv Morgan the way that they're hating on Rhea. And it could be because of her status. It could be because she's getting the most pop. But if you look at social media accounts, right, Liv Morgan is the biggest on Twitter, while Rhea Ripley is the biggest on Instagram. You know, TikTok, I don't know. I don't have a TikTok. Y'all can comment down below and let me know. But so far, the people that I have watched on interviews that are connected to Rhea, they all say that they know Rhea through TikTok. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, okay, well, TikTok is their place. But I'm like, okay, they don't know Liv Morgan on TikTok. They only know Liv Morgan on Twitter or Instagram. Damn. Well, that just lets you know Liv Morgan needs to go to Hollywood and build her name over there than to do it in WWE, because honestly, it seems to me like people do not want to connect with Liv Morgan unless she's with Dom, and that's fucked up. And that's why she needs to go do movies, so that way people can focus on her and not focus on this fake ass relationship that she has with Dominic Mysterio. You know, I think if you know, hopefully once this relationship storyline is over with, Liv Morgan can go to Hollywood and do more movies to where maybe she'll be comfortable with this and then she'll do more. You know, hopefully she can do more films. I'm hoping she'll do like comedy films or like action films. And, you know, I don't mind drama and thriller and suspicion and all that, but I would rather for her to do comedy, because I do think that Liv Morgan does have moments where she is hilarious and she is funny. Like, I like Liv Morgan when she ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that ratchet side of Liv Morgan, that trailer park trash type of Liv Morgan. You know what I mean? That white ghetto mentality Liv Morgan. You know what I'm saying? That white trash Liv Morgan. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the, and you know, some people would say that the Judgment Day version is that, but that's not true. Okay? The Liv Morgan that was before she joined the Judgment Day, that's the Liv Morgan I like. You know what I'm saying? But they could still act. You could still, you know, promote. You could still cut great promos, and you could still, you know, cut good scenes. And I think Liv Morgan has that. And I think, you know, she should do more films after this Judgment Day storyline is done. You feel me? So hopefully we can get that. But other than that, y'all got to stop hating on Rhea, especially you, CJAX. Okay? She will do more okay? She will do more matches. Now that she's not champion no more, she can do more matches now. Okay? She can do more matches. She can, you know, perform more. And then hopefully she'll get better with the promo, with the, you know, mics and whatnot. But it seems to me like I mean, look, she hasn't been talking more, so I don't know what's going on. But that's why I'm hoping that maybe they could have her team up with Kathy, so that way Kathy can do all the talking while Rhea Ripley just do all the, you know, all the moves and, you know, just be the muscle woman. You feel me? So hopefully we can get Kathy on board and she can start helping Rhea with her mic skills and whatnot. And then hopefully, you know, when Zyra next year, you know, come to the main roster, she could team up with Rhea and they can form their fraction like that, you know. I wish the Chemical X was still around, because then that way we could get a fraction right there, you know, where we have not only you'll have Zyra, you'll also have Chemical X with you, you know. Like, I would love to see that click, like Rhea, Zyra, Chemical X joining forces, and you have Kathy as their manager. I think that would be really dope. I mean, I don't know how I could see Kathy as an emo, but I could definitely see her being the manager for Rhea Ripley, and I think that would be pretty dope on her end. It would be something new, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to see that fraction. But because Gigi and Shotzi are gone, you know, maybe Tatum can come to Raw, and maybe she could be with Lyra for a little bit until, you know, Rhea and Tatum start to connect, and then maybe that they'll start forming their fraction. But however, we need Zyra first, and we need Kathy first. We need Kathy as well. So hopefully Kathy can get through training with the managing, and then maybe she'll start managing Rhea, and then hopefully we can go from there. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that could be the case for this year, for later this year and next year as well. So I think that would be good. I teased it before, so hopefully, we can get something like that. Otherwise, it'll just be Zyra and Rhea and Kathy. So hopefully we can get something like that. At least it'll be better to see those three than to see Brad Breaker and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. So yeah. Well, hopefully we can get that. But yeah, man. For all you Rhea fans out there that are watching this video, like I said, I don't condone what CJAX'S said. He didn't say anything too crazy, but him is saying that Liv Morgan is better than Rhea. All right, listen, we can split that in half, okay? If we was doing fill in the blanks, I already said it. I already gave you the rundown, okay? Mic skills, Liv Morgan got it. Ring skills, Rhea got it, okay? Charisma, Liv Morgan got it. Popularity, Rhea got it. Aura, Rhea got it. Finisher, Liv Morgan got it. And that's all I can say about that. GOAT status, well, we haven't got there yet, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, man. Hopefully, look, maybe Liv Morgan will be the next The Rock, and Rhea Ripley will be the next Stone Cold. Or The Undertaker. We can say The Undertaker. But we'll see. We'll see. But y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Do you think CJAX was tripping, or do you think he's hating still, or do you think he was speaking facts? I think he was speaking a little bit, just a little bit. But when he started saying like Liv Morgan is better than Rhea, sorry, bro. But just like Takeoff, rest in peace, cap. All right, it's cap. All right, it's cap. So y'all comment down below, let me know, man. And any Rhea fan that wants to comment down below and talk about it, I'll feel free to speak. You know what I'm saying? And get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch you on the next video, all right? I'm out.